Hello, Fearless fam. Welcome to another episode where we shed light on topics most like to keep in the dark. This is your host, Chubby, and today's elephant, I guess, is level 5. Today's episode will be a little bit different. There will be no quotes, no statistics, no facts, no anything. It will just be me talking to you. I came to a realization, and I've been feeling a little bit down about it. So obviously no editing, just raw. Either way, that's what the topic is about. It's the general thing about, are we losing hope with what's going on? As many as you know, I am an activist and I am an advocate, and I do take my breaks from, because that's my privilege. I am able to take a break from the social media and from what's going on in the world, and actually able to relax, whatever that is, and regroup myself and able to bring you content and actual information for you. But then I sit back and I think about all the people that can't take breaks, that they can't escape their reality, they can't escape their life. And I mean, obviously that is a reality and this is mine. There's nothing much we could do about it. I do as much as I can to bring awareness to other topics that most people obviously like to keep in the dark. And I am not overwhelmed to say, but I have been feeling lately that there is just so much going on, like a lot, so much, and I don't even know where it ends or where it begins. And it's just a constant overflowing of information and what to share, what not to share, what can I share, like what I am able to share with keeping my mind sane, my sanity, and what's not gonna get banned on the social medias. And that has been a lot, because that's one of the topics that I was talking to somebody. They've been shadow banned and they're getting shadow banned, or other people that their photography is getting banned because the nudes, obviously that's a minuscule thing. That's the smallest thing compared to the largest thing that is happening across the world, all around the world. I was also thinking about how the hell Russia's coming up to a year since they invaded Ukraine, and that should have been stopped a long time ago. I was hoping something could be done, to help these people. And it's insane that it's still going on. And then what's happening in Cuba, what happened in Venezuela and Colombia, and literally Iran, what is happening literally all over the world right now. It is all coming together, and it's just too much. And obviously I'm just me, I guess, expressing and venting how, what the fuck, I feel like it's just so much. Like when are us as human beings are we gonna learn that something needs to be done, something has to be stopped? Like I don't know like I was thinking about, when you're so removed from reality, how are you able to help? Some people are so removed from reality. And if you saw my Instagram post today about people's bubbles, and I've always mentioned the bubble, and that is how people live just in their own little world, and they have the right to. Obviously that is their privilege, that is their way to live, or survive, or whatever they're doing. But at the end of the day, how many of us, like all the activists and other people that are putting all of our all into this, how much can we actually help? And then I sit back and I'm like, am I helping? I know I said that in a couple of videos ago, that sometimes if it's because of you all telling me that I help, that you feel like I'm helping you in some way, with other topics, and you retrospect and thinking and all of that, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what is going on with my content. And I do it because obviously I care for it, and it is something that brings me joy, that we are talking about important things out there instead of the next fashion trend, which to each their own. I'm not saying anything. But at the same time, I wonder, what the hell can we do? Are we doing enough? And I know for a fact that we grow when we're uncomfortable. That is the truth. When you're uncomfortable, you grow, and when you're uncomfortable, you change to a better version of yourself, hopefully. And we've been uncomfortable for the last 3 years since this podcast. And yes, I do sit there at nights thinking about things I can't change, right? The world. Like, not why, because we know why, but why are humans like this? Why invade another country? It's a rhetorical question, not the actual, why. How they could just sit there and be like, yeah, let's harm other people and that is okay, It makes no sense to me sometimes that we live in this world and that we've been living in this world for so long, and it's still going on. Racism, humans just being under attack for who they are, the LGBTQ plus community, and no offense, but yeah, all these white men, I should say, that are in power, trying to rule every other people's bodies. It makes no sense to me. So I'm here thinking with you, obviously, as you can tell, and I just sit here and it's like, these laws that are passing, it just sometimes makes no sense. Why can't we live in a world where you do you and I do me, and there you go? If you're not harming anyone in any way, why should someone else's life matter to you if you're not involved in it? That would just been my thoughts lately. And I haven't been really doing well with the whole concept of existing in this world. And I don't mean it in the sense of I don't want to be here anymore. I mean it in the sense of we've been here for so long trying to change the world. I've been an activist for about 17 years of my life, every day trying to make a change as best as we can, and obviously this is not about me, but I still think about the world that I live in and the world that I want to be living in, and I do sometimes feel like I'm just me, one person. I recycle, I try to, as best as I can, to divide everything with the numbers quick that belong to each, little things like that, reduce, reuse, whatever you want to call it, with the whole recycling environmentalist thing. And then I tried different ways to be a better human being, right? Because I feel like as a human being, you should strive to be the best human to other people, to the world you live in. And we're not doing a good job at that. We are failing Mother Earth again. And it's all because of greed, because of man. Man in the sense of man, like the human race. And that just it's disappointing sometimes to feel and to see that people are literally saying it does not include me in any way. I am not going to bother with it. And like I always say, just because it's not happening to you doesn't mean that it's not happening. Or just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean that it hasn't happened. Because we know history. And don't even get me started on that with the whole school thing. There was literally a school that banned 300 books. They're trying to erase history, Black history. How? Why? I just don't get it. These are educational books because it's what happened. Some people lived it that still lived to this day to tell it. You know? It's like we haven't learned from what happened with Germany and the Nazis and all of that. How are we here today and we haven't learned anything? A better human race, the Aryan race and all that. They're still onto that today. And it's like, if we all come together to find peace, to want peace, we need to come together to want to do better. And I always say that in all the episodes, because I feel like we should be better. Like, why are we here? Whether you believe in the Adam and Eve or the evolution of the Big Bang Theory, either way, at the end of the day, whatever we are here, we're humans, we're this, and we should be coming together to help. To want a better future, to want to make a difference, and not... Yeah, I get it. We all have a brain, okay? And our brains all think differently. But why bother to go to the extent to eradicate a whole species or to want to control women, Black people, the LGBTQ, anybody? And this is what the world is, literally. It's just a whole fucking thing revolving still around the white man who has power, right? And we can't give them that, right? We have to take our narrative back, and actually do something about it. Hence why I'm here every single week trying to bring facts about stuff that actually should matter to the people. And again, this whole bubble thing comes up again. And I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, I know life has been hectic. I know how life has been hectic. I know that this last 3 years has been a shit show, literally, to everybody. And we've been grieving and mourning literally everything in all the senses possible. Grieving from the people who lost their jobs, lost their homes, lost their loved ones. People who lost their own lives living in an abusive relationship in their home. People who possibly have lost their children. It has been an everyday struggle, and I get that, and being an empath also sucks, because I feel, obviously, as you all know, you feel things 10 times stronger, and and I try not to let that consume me. But the last couple of weeks, this whole gun control, like gun shit that's been happening, like that 9-year-old who died, like that's just every day you wake up to negative, like more and more things, like the train and the train bombs or whatever they were calling it. That just is devastating. Every single day a thing, and I wonder, when will we ever wake up and not have terrible news? And I don't want to make this video more ranty and more longer than it is, and more, oh my god, pity me, that's not what this video is about. But I just wanted to let it all out, that it's been very overwhelming, trying not to get these elephants to stay at a 5. And most of you know the elephants are the ratings of each episode, depending on how, from 1 to 5, how bad or how intense, I should say, the episode is. And if, trigger warnings, letting people know, hey, okay, this is elephant 5, meaning there might be some controversy, or you might not agree with my opinion, which is perfectly fine, as long as we are civil to each other and we could have an actual discussion about, okay, this is your opinion, why do you feel that way? Those are the type of things I'm trying to come up with when we are discussing or having our differences with our episodes. But it's just, the elephant has stayed out of 5 because it's that bad, and mind you, there are some topics that are not like so bad, but like, there been a 1 or 2 or 3 that are still important nonetheless. No matter what the elephant number is, they're still important. But it comes to a point where it's like, okay, tone it down, right? And that's not the whole point of this podcast. The whole point of the podcast is to literally share things that are obviously not having light on because people don't like to talk about it, and that's the whole point. But then I wonder, is it doing any good? And I hope it is, but these are just things that I've been thinking about, and I hope you guys could share your thoughts about it and just share with me what you've been thinking about. I know this is overwhelming about all the things that have been happening, and it goes back to my original question: are we losing hope? Is there any hope left for this world? Will there be a better tomorrow? Even though right now we're still in a pandemic, even though most people think that it's over, it's literally not. It's still killing people. People are still getting sick, and it's not going to be over. We just have to be hyper vigilant. We have to take care of ourselves, take care of people that you claim to love, and you have to take care of your surroundings and be a responsible adult. If you're watching this, you see my air quotes. If you're listening to this, I'm making air quotes. I made air quotes throughout the video, but should mention that. I keep forgetting people listen to it too. Yeah, whatever that is, to be a responsible adult, and to remember to always be open-minded and to care for just the human race in general, and to find out why you don't agree with something. Maybe it's something internally that has to do with you, and to think that and to know and to remember and to acknowledge that everybody does have a different opinion and everybody will think different. But what you have to do is have an open mind and do your research and want to learn about anything and everything, and remember that knowledge, the more knowledgeable you are, the more we could change this world, right? This is why people are afraid of people who have an education, because education is knowledge. Education is power, and that's what we try to bring here. Like, yeah, I'm bringing you whatever, but do your own research, right? Like, I share something, but like, let me see what Truby's talking about, and look for it, and think about it, what's happening, what is being said, and always pay it forward as best as you can. And paying it forward could be somebody bought something for you, you could buy it for somebody else, or donate something, or whatever. Any little act of kindness goes a long way. But I'll leave this rant here, and again, there's gonna be a lot of pauses, so all we could do is just take a breather and ask yourself, do we still have hope? And like I always say, thank you for watching. Stay fearless, everyone.